This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana. The number of COVID-19 cases surging in the Hoosier State. We're breaking down the latest numbers and the new option for healthcare workers to get tested.
So we're fiddling here. Fiddling with the emotions of the American people. Fiddling with the markets. Fiddling with our health care.
A bill aimed at boosting the economy is stopped in its tracks. This morning, the vote expected today that could get things moving again. And is your workspace really clean? The simple steps you can take to make sure you stay healthy and don't waste your money.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Monday, March the 23rd. And my office space, Meredith, as you know, which was a mountain full of paper, is finally clean. You can finally see the surface.
This is what it took.
Well, unfortunately so. Good morning, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday morning. Hopefully you're up and getting ready to maybe take a walk outside, get some fresh air. Todd, what can people expect as they head out the door this morning?
You know, this morning we're dealing with a little bit of fog, a little bit of patchy drizzle as well, and temperatures are on the cool side, anywhere really between 33 and 40 degrees this morning. So if you are choosing to go out this morning, you're definitely going to have to bundle up a little bit. We'll lose this fog, drizzle, and overall damp feeling, though, as the day goes on. So that is good news. So this afternoon's obviously going to be a little bit warmer, but also it's going to be a little bit brighter. Some snow showers across northern portions of Indiana. Those continue to move out, but some of you did see a little bit of accumulation yesterday from that rain-snow mixture up towards Monticello and Peru. Throughout the day today, the overall trend will be to slowly thin these clouds out. We're never going to completely get rid of them, but the sky should start to brighten as the afternoon wears on. You're just going to have to be patient here this morning, as it's going to be a little bit of a process. 37, damp and dreary at 8 a.m. By the time we get to the noon hour, just mostly cloudy skies and a temperature that's right around 42 degrees.
Todd, thank you so much. Good morning to our friends in Greencastle, Newcastle, and Kokomo. A live look outside at our Traffic Now traffic system. This is I-70 at Shaylin Avenue. As you can see, that light fog overhead. These are the moments that I miss our Lauren Casey. She'll be back next week, but wow, I love it when she does traffic, but she's not here this week. But in the meantime, she would say everything is A-OK.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak here in Indiana. 3 more deaths have been reported, and the number of cases reaching more than 200 this morning. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live with the breakdown of those numbers. Kelsey.
Well, good morning. As of last night, the Indiana State Department of Health has reported 7 Hoosiers have died from the coronavirus. So far, nearly 1,500 people have been tested for COVID-19 and 201 have tested positive. Marion County has the most positive cases right now. That area increased from 46 cases to 82 from Saturday to Sunday. New this morning, Eli Lilly announcing they will offer drive-through COVID-19 testing for Indianapolis healthcare workers. Now, this is only for healthcare workers. That includes physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and allied healthcare professionals. And a physician's order is required. The tests are free, according to the news release. To learn more about the testing and to stay up to date with the latest on the coronavirus in Indiana, download the RTV6 News app. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. We are working for you and taking a closer look at the number of cases and how they've progressed so far here in our state. The chart behind me will show the number of cases since Thursday. On Thursday, the number of cases was 56. Those testing positive increased to 79 on Friday. Then on Saturday, the cases increased to 126 on Sunday, and that number jumped to 201. We expect an update from the State Department of Health about the numbers today at 10 this morning. When we receive those new numbers, we'll send them to you immediately through a push alert through the RTV6 app.
The Senate is set to vote again today on the stimulus bill aimed at boosting the U.S. economy struggling from the coronavirus. On Sunday, Democrats halted the Republican proposal. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the bill favors big corporations as opposed to the American worker. Meanwhile, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Democratic Party is just playing politics.
Look, I can understand obstruction when you're trying to achieve something. This obstruction achieves nothing. Nothing whatsoever. other than prevent us from getting into a position where there are literally 30 more hours that they could use to continue to dicker.
The legislation has many problems. At the top of the list, it includes a large corporate bailout with no protections for workers and virtually no oversight. Also very troubling in the bill were significant shortfalls of money that our hospitals, states, cities, and medical workers desperately needed.
McConnell originally wanted the vote to happen Monday morning shortly before Wall Street opened. However, it was pushed back a few hours because Democrats blocked the GOP's ability to have this session before noon. The vote is now scheduled for around 1 this afternoon.
The time now is 6:06, and child advocates are deeply concerned about the impact the virus is having and will have on Hoosier families. Sandy Runkle with Prevent Child Abuse Indiana is concerned because children are not going to school, to after-school clubs, or to church, places where trusted adults can make sure that they're okay. Add to that, some children are not getting therapy or other services that they normally would get in person, and many children are spending more time online with video games.
What we're also concerned about is in these desperate times is individuals reaching out to caregivers that may be inappropriate to come in and watch their children. So please be sure and vet who's ever coming in to watch your children. Families may be concerned about, educational needs. So they may be hiring tutors. Make sure it's a legitimate tutor.
Prevent Child Abuse Indiana is calling on neighbors, mail carriers, cable technicians, garbage collectors, neighbors to keep an eye out on reported suspected child abuse and neglect and to report that to the state hotline. That number is 1-800-800-5556.
This morning, IPS will launch 8 more meal sites to feed students while out of their physical classrooms due to the COVID-19 outbreak. On Thursday, Governor Eric Holcomb announced face-to-face classes across the state are closed until at least May 1st. The meals will be served at 16 schools in Blackburn Terrace and Laurelwood Apartments. You can find a complete list of those sites right now on the RTV6 app.
So let's take you now to Hendricks County. Starting today, the town of Plainfield, they're opening a resident assistance program to help those most at risk with basic needs during this outbreak. The program will help deliver prepaid groceries and medications that are ready for pickup. Now, for those not able to order online, they can connect them to area churches or other community resources. They're taking precautions to make sure the assistance from town employees will be safe. All will go through a health screening and drop off requested goods off at people's doorsteps. You can get started with the program by calling this number, 317-839-2561. Assistance will be available from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday.
As many industries are struggling, there is one that is doing more business than usual, and that is the firearms industry. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning outside of Indy Trading Post. Alyssa, that store briefly had to close over the weekend because they say they ran out of inventory.
That's right. They just can't keep up right now. They tell me they had a new shipment that came in on Friday, and by Saturday evening, that shipment was gone. Their inventory practically gone by Saturday evening, which is why they did decide to close on Sunday in the hopes of restocking for this morning. Now, they told me even though it was closed on Sunday, they had a steady stream of cars coming through this parking lot, all those people looking for firearms as well as ammunition. Now, before the closure, the store had been busy since Monday, with staff staying several hours past closing time to complete sales. Typically, they do see an increase in sales during tax season, but the owner tells me it's never been anything like this. I asked what's going so quickly, and the owner said everything and anything. They're struggling to keep firearms and ammunition in stock. He also said they're getting a lot of first-time firearm owners at this time, and while it's their right to purchase, he wants people to do their homework.
Try to educate yourself on the firearm. Try to be careful. Once this settles down, if you still want to have the firearm, take a class or a course and just be safe with it, because I think there's a lot of people that have never owned firearms that are buying firearms right now.
And I spoke with a few customers, several of them telling me they're purchasing a gun right now because they're worried with the uncertainty of how COVID-19 is impacting the country. And just to put it in perspective of just how many firearms they've sold here in the past week, the owner tells me just one day last week, they sold as many firearms as they typically do in 1 month. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The COVID-19 outbreak has postponed or canceled thousands of events across the country, and now comes the question of how to get a ticket refund. At Bankers Life Fieldhouse, a refund for canceled events will be available from where you bought your tickets, but it is important to note Bankers Life and its box office are closed after Governor Holcomb and Mayor Hogsett put limits on the size of events that can be held during the coronavirus pandemic. The closure will last at least until March 30th.
Thousands of Hoosier businesses are feeling the impacts of the COVID-19. Coming up at 6:15, we're looking at the resources now aimed at helping mom and pop stores weather this crisis. But first, let's check out your forecast with Todd Clausen.
And Raphael, today is going to be the coldest high temperature that we see this entire week as we only climb up into the upper 40s. However, the warmer air starts to work in tomorrow. We get back up to right around 50 degrees. Then we're above normal starting on Wednesday. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 7-day planning forecast. Time now is 6:11. Stay with us. We're right back.
It's a deal you don't want to miss, so click, call, or visit a store today.
Hiring Hoosiers is shining a light on support for entrepreneurs and small business owners. The company Generator, which invests in startups, is partnering with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation to create the Indiana Emergency Response Program. Small businesses affected by the COVID-19 outbreak are invited to take part in a free week-long webinar. The series will help owners identify and leverage resources aimed at helping businesses get through this crisis.
We saw a lot of people running out of income, losing their jobs, and realized that the owners of those small businesses were about to have to make some really tough decisions and go through some things that they've never had to experience before. So hopefully we have some knowledge and expertise that we can share and help make that process a little bit easier.
You can find out more information about the program, including a link to sign up at hiringhoosiers.com.
The time now is 6:15, and the TSA is ready to bend a few rules in response to the coronavirus. If your license expires this month, you'll still be able to use it for domestic travel. The TSA says it will accept licenses for up to a year after the expiration date. That will apply to licenses that expire any time during the virus pandemic and up to 60 days after it ends. This also affects plans to require everyone to have a real ID by October. The TSA says that's no longer realistic. Many people, as you know, can't renew licenses right now with offices either closed or overcrowded.
Officials are discouraging any non-essential travel right now. That has airlines canceling up to 70% of flights. This could actually work to your advantage if you have a trip planned and bought a non-refundable ticket. When airlines cancel the flight, they will usually give you a full cash refund regardless of the ticket type. If you try to cancel before they do, you'll likely get a voucher or have to rebook. The airlines are currently advising travelers to wait to call until 72 hours before their flights anyway to help cut down on wait times. Here at 6:16, we're taking a look outside. A little foggy out there, Todd.
Yeah, you know, in spots. It's not terrible, but these visibilities have been fluctuating just a little bit. And I always tell you the threshold's about 1 mile. If it's down below 1 mile, that's when you start to see some issues on the roadways. And everybody's well above that number. The one exception's been Fort Wayne this morning. It's been kind of fluctuating back and forth. So unless you're traveling up I-69 towards Fort Wayne here this morning, I think you'll be in decent shape. Here's a live look in Bloomington where visibility is not an issue at all. And that's one of the areas where we've kind of gotten rid of the drizzle and the patchy fog already this morning. And that trend will continue for just about everybody as we work our way throughout the course of the remainder of the day. And here's the reason why. The winds are out of the northwest now. That's a drier wind direction. So it's going to pull in some drier air. So that's going to help to get rid of the moisture that we have. But it's also a wind direction that's going to prevent us from warming a whole lot here throughout the day today. The temperature right now sits at 38 degrees. Storm Team 6 radar pretty active yesterday with the rain, the snow, and the sleet that was falling across the area. And we did have some minor accumulation to the north. All the snow now is across northern Indiana. It's not going to be an issue for us here in central Indiana throughout the day today, as these clouds will slowly start to thin out as well. The darker shaded clouds are actually the thinner clouds. These brighter ones are the thicker clouds that are in place as you look at your satellite radar picture. So you just got to be patient here today. And these clouds eventually will start to thin out across the area, but it's probably not until the afternoon hours that really starts to happen. And we'll never completely get rid of the clouds, but we'll break for some sunshine later on today. Temperature-wise, it's a struggle this morning with the clouds in place, holding in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees, at least through the noon hour. And then as those clouds start to thin out, that's when we'll start to see those temperatures moderate back up into the mid-40s to near 50 degrees later on this afternoon. This evening, sunset is at 8:01. Skies will be partly to mostly cloudy with temperatures that will be in the 40s. Now, tomorrow's a better day. It's a little bit warmer. It starts off dry with partly cloudy skies. I'm going to take you back over to TrueCast. This is 1:30 in the afternoon, and this is when the clouds will start to increase once again tomorrow, and then you see the rain starting to creep in. Right now, it looks like most of this rain is going to hold off until pretty late in the day on Tuesday, so most of your day tomorrow is going to be dry. Tomorrow, the temperatures also get back up into the 50s, and then on Wednesday, we get into the 60s, 65, near 65 on Thursday, and we are not going to be dealing with all-day rains there, so you see rain. It's going to be a pretty active pattern, but it'll just be periods of rain with plenty of dry hours mixed in as well.
Todd, thank you so much. Good morning to Marion, Columbus, and Fairland as we take a live look outside. On the city's northwest side, this is I-65 at 8:65. No major issues to report on the interstate system. And don't forget to use those low beam lights when you're in those foggy areas. But for now, Meredith, everything seems to be okay considering the fog throughout central Indiana.
The coronavirus outbreak is responsible for job losses, serious illnesses, and even deaths. But it's also bringing out the best in many Hoosiers who are working together. Here are some of the stories we've shared with you on RTV6.
Working together, our commitment at RTV6 to share the stories of how your neighbors are working for you to make a difference during this challenging time.
Indianapolis resident Alicia Baker has been hard at work the past few days, making connections and building relationships.
I know a lot of young people that are really asking, how can I help? And then I also know a lot of people that are in need of help, and so I just really wanted to bridge the gap and help get them connected.
So she created this online sign-up sheet. She then uses zip codes to match people up.
Pairing neighbors with neighbors.
So far, more than 700 people all across the city have signed up. She's now working with others like Melissa Loria to also create lists of resources in the area and make plans for whatever the coming days or weeks may hold.
The printers are hot. The signs are flying out the doors of DG Graphics in Martinsville.
And I wanted to do something to try to help out.
Owner Derek Gady saw a sign from a friend also in the business in Illinois. It read, "Dine-in closed, curbside pickup available. We also have gift cards available." So he asked his friend if he could share his file, and Derek started printing.
These restaurants, they have employees, they have families, so, to give back to them, to make sure they can still do it. We still eat there. We still, we all want to kind of just work together.
We want to hear your stories of Hoosiers working together during this tough time. Share the positive efforts going on in your community by emailing us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. We'll be right back.
Every day. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Good morning to the southeast side. We're taking a live look at I-74 at Post Road. Just a few cars out there, as you can see. We expect traffic to be thin like this all morning and throughout the rest of the week, so no issues to report. All right, Raphael, How many rolls of toilet paper do you have in the Sanchez household right now?
We have enough to get by. I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, well, if you're ever at a point where you're panicking about if you have enough left, you can go to this website. It's been designed to help with the toilet paper crisis. The site reports its average user has 500% more toilet paper than they need during quarantine. To get calculations, users enter how many rolls of TP they have and how many times they visit the bathroom. The designers hope it will reduce the toilet paper shortage around the world.
The jokes and the puns, Meredith, we're going to skip them all this morning. The jokes, all the jokes. Let's go to Chicago, where the famous dinosaur Sue is on the loose. What? The coronavirus has closed the city's famous Field Museum, but that does not have to stop the fun. The museum tweeted out this video of the Sue, the T-Rex, running around and even visiting the penguins. Sue says, "This is the moment I have been waiting for. The museum is mine to roll." It's like night at the museum.
It is. Exactly.
Wow.
Well, a man in Pennsylvania literally hit the jackpot while self-isolating during the coronavirus pandemic. He made more than $278,000 at an online casino. Hey, that's one way to pass the time. The man, who wants to remain anonymous, hit the Divine Fortune jackpot this weekend by betting a single dollar. All of the land-based casinos in the state have been shut down due to the pandemic. So, hey, there you go. If you're bored and you got a buck or two that you want to gamble with, might as well try that. Todd, what is our forecast looking like for our Monday?
You know, we're starting off a little bit on the slower side this morning with some patchy drizzle and a little bit of patchy fog that's out there. And temperatures are hovering right around 40 degrees, depending on where you live. And throughout the morning, really, there's not a whole lot of warming that is going to be taking place, as we only go up to about 45 degrees by the noon hour. The one change that will happen throughout the day today is as the day goes on, we'll start to thin the clouds out for more in the way of some filtered sunshine. So it does turn into more of a brighter day, and we'll lose the drizzle that we have out there this morning. And so this afternoon, while it's still a little bit below normal, it'll be decent for us. 45 and Peru, about 47 the high temperature today in Indianapolis. Bloomington over towards Columbus, we'll look for high temperatures in the low 50s.
Todd, thank you. Doctors are telling us to wash our hands more and more, to try to not touch other things around us, not to touch people, to the bump, as you know. But have you looked around your workspace at work or even at home if you're not working from home? Working for you, John Mattery shows us the simple steps that you can take to stay safe and you don't waste your money.
When is the last time you gave your workspace a deep cleaning? I'm not talking about a quick wipe down of the keyboard. With coronavirus a serious concern, we have some expert advice on how to clean your work area. The one business seeing a surge of business in recent weeks, cleaning services.
We are extraordinarily busy right now.
Here at Diamond Quality Clean, their website has been lighting up with cleaning requests. Owner Sandy Thibor says her crews are taking extra steps right now, cleaning everything people touch. That includes desk spaces, mouse pads, phones, even staplers.
It's all of the things on their desk, their staplers, doorknobs, light switches, you know, everything, keyboards, everything that are very commonly touched items.
Doing it yourself? After the initial cleaning, she recommends a deep cleaning to sanitize.
We'd really, you know, give them a good cleaning, and then we would go back to those items with a disinfectant.
Sandy says a lot of us realize the obvious things that we should wipe down, such as your computer keyboard, but she says there are a lot of other things in the office that can also hold germs, such as the arms and back of your chair. Saleswoman Amber showed us how they even wipe down seating surfaces. And she says don't forget the community break room, especially the refrigerator.
This is the part that people touch the most.
And the microwave.
You really want to, you know, get in there front and back.
But one caution, Sandy says make sure the product is like Lysol and says it kills viruses.
Product for killing germs and viruses.
Because she says if it won't kill viruses, it won't do much right now. For more coronavirus consumer news, go to theindychannel.com so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Mattery. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. At least 7 people have now died in Indiana from COVID-19. 3 more deaths were reported on Sunday, 1 in Marion County, 1 in Allen County, and 1 in Scott County. The total number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the state is now at least 201.
Thousands of Indiana National Guardsmen are ready to respond during this COVID-19 crisis. In a video released over the weekend, the governor and the National Guard provided an update on how soldiers and airmen are helping Hoosiers. Troops are part of the critical planning of meetings with state agencies to determine needs. They've also been working to help sort and pack shipments of medical supplies for local hospitals.
The city of Indianapolis is working with nonprofit groups to help the homeless population during the COVID-19 outbreak. The city has placed 15 hand washing stations throughout downtown to help control the spread of the virus. The Indianapolis Office of Public Health and Safety and Horizon House have also teamed up to provide other support services to Hoosiers in need. It is 6:30 here on your Monday morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're Meredith.
I'm Meredith, yes.
And I'm Rafael Sanchez. It's a Monday. We're just trying to get back to the swing of things in this new world of boxes.
Which is a long ways away, I think, at this point, Rafael.
Todd Clausen has your forecast on this Monday. Hey, Todd, take it away.
Hey, guys, how are you? Walking out the door this morning, we're walking out to not the best weather. It's kind of a little bit of a carryover from yesterday when we got into that rain and the snow and the sleet across central Indiana. We've lost a lot of that wintry weather, but we still are dealing with a little bit of patchy drizzle out there. So this morning, there's still kind of a damp and dreary feel, a little bit of patchy fog as well, with temperatures that are going to hover in the upper 30s here for at least the next few hours. We'll need these clouds to kind of thin out to allow our temperatures to warm up into the 40s, and eventually we will get there. You just got to be a little bit patient here throughout the course of the day, as we're firmly locked in with the clouds now, but the storm to our south and another one to the north is pushing off towards the east, so that is definitely good news. So not much changes throughout the course of the morning hours here today, as temperatures will climb from about 38 degrees at 9 a.m. to about 42 degrees by the noon hour. So there's not a whole lot of warming that'll take place, with skies that'll be mostly cloudy. Eventually close to 50 degrees later on this afternoon. Tomorrow we're into the 50s, and then the 60s arrive as well by midweek. More on your extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. Good morning to Carmel, Kokomo, and Bloomington as we take a live look at the city's north side. As you can see, Castleton quite busy this morning. This is I-465 at East 82nd Street. As you can see, a lot of traffic in this portion of the interstate system. Otherwise, no major problems to report this morning. Meredith?
At least 201 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19 as state and local governments continue to take steps to slow down the virus's progress. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us with the latest from the Indiana State Department of Health. Kelsey, good morning.
Well, good morning. As of last night, the Indiana State Department of Health has reported 7 Hoosiers have died from the coronavirus. So far, nearly 1,500 people have been tested for COVID-19 and 201 have tested positive. Marion County has the most positive cases right now. That area increased from 46 cases to 82 from Saturday to Sunday. New this morning, Eli Lilly announcing they will offer drive-through COVID-19 testing for Indianapolis healthcare workers. Now, this is only for healthcare workers. That includes physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and allied healthcare professionals. And a physician's order is required. The tests are free, according to the news release. To learn more about the testing and to stay up to date with the latest on the coronavirus in Indiana, download the RTV6 News app. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
The time now is 6:32. One industry is seeing a steep increase in sales. Stores that specialize in firearms have been extremely busy. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning at the Indy Trading Post. And Alyssa, the owner of that store says they've had a nonstop stream of business. Fill us in.
That's right. They tell me since last Monday they've been staying late at the store. They've had tons of people coming in wanting firearms and ammunition. I actually stopped by here on Friday and the store was packed. By Saturday, they received a couple extra shipments, and they tell me Saturday night all of that was gone and they had to close on Sunday. They've also had to take off their phone, disconnect it because they were just receiving so many phone calls, as well as disconnecting their website for online orders because they just haven't been able to keep up with the demand. Now, this started to increase last Monday, and everyday staff members have been staying late, completing those background checks and purchases. While I was in the store, the owner was calling distributors trying to get more inventory, and they did receive 2 truckloads of firearms and ammunition late Friday, and all of that was gone by Saturday evening. The owner says it's unfortunate that their successful week has to do with people buying out of fear. And I spoke with a customer who said that is exactly why he's purchasing a firearm.
People are afraid. I just want to be ready. protect myself and my family.
And I'm told background checks are also taking a little bit longer than usual as well due to the increased number of applications. And this store was closed yesterday so that the owners could try and restock. I'm told that they are planning to open this morning with new inventory at 10 a.m. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Working together, people in the sewing community are answering the call to help as healthcare workers across the country are dealing with a shortage of personal protective equipment, things like gloves and face masks. Jessica Oldfield, who lives in Muncie, received a call from a friend who works at a midwife clinic in Nashville saying they were short on masks. Jessica had extra fabric on hand, so she got busy using 100% cotton, a pattern, and extra elastic. She's already made more than 20.
Just feeling like I had some purpose with my time of being home. That's what I told her right away. I was like, thank you for giving me something meaningful to do with all this time that we are just stuck at home with.
Jessica has reached out to clinics in Muncie where she plans to send extra that she's made. We reached out to the Indiana State Department of Health, and they say while any protection is better than none, they do not have any information on specific guidelines for making masks at home. The CDC says in settings where they are not available, healthcare personnel can use bandanas or scarves when caring for patients with COVID-19 as a last resort. But these homemade masks are not considered personal protective equipment since their capability is to protect is still unknown. The CDC says caution should be used when considering this option. The homemade option should ideally be used in combination with a face shield that covers the entire front and sides of the face. As the sewing community unites to try to help those who need these masks, Joann Fabrics is seeing an increase in people buying material. We talked to a manager at the store near 86th and Allisonville Road. Today they plan to give away mask making kits on a first come first served basis. They open at 9 a.m.
Here's another way that we can all work together. The time now is 6:36 this morning. We're reminding you that the Red Cross is in urgent need of blood. And among those first on the scene to help is, of course, IndyCar fan favorite driver James Hinchcliffe. As we've told you, the 33-year-old knows the importance of the Red Cross. The organization helped save his life 5 years ago after that happened. As you see, Hinch was in an accident at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that nearly cost him his life. So when the organization put out the call for help for Hinch, there was no question because he showed up.
We put out the email or send him a text, and his right response is, you tell me where, wind me up, point me in the right direction, and I'm there. And I got to tell you, it's genuine.
If you don't have money to give, you've got blood to give. Everybody's got a little extra time on their hands right now, so really encouraging everybody to go redcrossblood.org, find a drive, and try and come out and donate.
Since the coronavirus outbreak, the Red Cross has lost more than 2,700 blood drives nationwide. That's about 87,000 pints of blood. For more information on where and how you can donate, head to the RTV6 app and click on this story.
In other news this morning, an investigation is underway after a house fire left one person dead on the north side. Firefighters were called to New Waldo Avenue in a neighborhood near Keystone Avenue and Kessler Boulevard Sunday morning. When they arrived, they found heavy smoke from the home and an adult male inside dead. IMPD homicide investigators are working the case with IFD as standard protocol.
Also developing this morning, state and county officials, they continue to investigate after 6 people were killed when a bridge collapsed due to floodwaters. Now, this happened Friday in Franklin County. Investigators say a bridge, Laurel, which is between Cincinnati and Indianapolis, was destroyed after heavy storms led to high water. 5 of the victims' bodies were found during a search on Friday. The 6th body found Saturday morning. 35-year-old Felina Lewis and her 3 children, 4-year-old Kylie Mosier, 7-year-old Elysium Lewis, 13-year-old Ethan Williams, they all died. 47-year-old Sean Roberts and 48-year-old Burton Spurlock were in another car. They also passed away in this accident.
More stores with more hours for seniors. Next, we'll show you where you can shop if you are more susceptible to the coronavirus's effects and need to stay away from large crowds.
Congress working to get emergency money in the hands of Americans. We'll show you why the money is being held up and how some of that money could go to big corporations, including some that could benefit the president's personal businesses. The time now is 6:39, and you're watching Good Morning Indiana.
22 months on 12 models.
Trader Joe's and Walgreens are joining the number of retailers offering special shopping hours for older people during the COVID-19 pandemic. Starting today, Trader Joe's is reserving the first hour of its day for senior citizens every day of the week. Trader Joe's also says it will have an extra line outside its front door for seniors that will provide those customers with a quicker entrance. Walgreens is also adding a senior hour starting this week every Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Walgreens also says customers 55 and older will receive special discounts on Tuesdays.
In Congress, lawmakers are feuding over a main portion of the massive economic relief package being debated by the Senate. The Trump administration and Senate Republicans want to give the Treasury Department the authority to hand out about $500 billion in emergency loans to businesses hurt by the COVID-19 pandemic. But that proposal gives the Treasury Secretary broad discretion over which businesses would get the funding. And President Trump has not said whether his own hotels might apply for the money. Democrats are demanding that Congress have more oversight on where that money goes, while Republicans say they're trying to protect the economy.
We Democrats have seen some real flaws in the bill that was put on the floor by the Republicans. And what it has is, for instance, a giant corporate bailout fund with no accountability.
I'm told the futures market is down 5%. I'm also told that that's when trading stops. So the notion that we have time to play games here with the American economy and the American people is utterly absurd.
The Treasury Secretary continued negotiations with Senate Democrats late into the night. Another vote to move that bill forward is scheduled for later this morning.
Republicans are working with 5 fewer senators than normal right now. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is in isolation after he was diagnosed with the coronavirus. 4 other senators who may have had contact with Paul are now in self-quarantine as a precaution. That leaves Republicans with the slim 48-47 majority at the moment. 2 House members have also tested positive for the virus. The positive tests are increasing calls for new rules that would allow lawmakers to vote remotely.
His church was empty on Sunday, but he says there was no way he could not be there. Coming up, the important reason this man says he had to play his instrument for his fellow church members. Todd?
And with many people that are at home here throughout the course of the week, let's kind of break down your rain chances so you can get out and about throughout the day. Today, just a 10% chance, a little bit of patchy drizzle tomorrow. Better rain chances tomorrow evening. Wednesday looks to be a decent day. And then Thursday and Friday, we have some rain chances in the forecast. But the good news is no all-day rains. We'll break down the week ahead for you coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:44. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.
Make a donation or volunteer today.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 6:47. On Sunday, houses of worship were empty across our state and across the country. But people of faith, they turned to social media to keep in line with their own traditions. But there was at least one person who did make it to his church. He's an organist who told me he had many reasons to play. Not your usual Sunday at Tabernacle Christian Church in Franklin. Parking spaces are empty, and so are the pews. No Nurse Wendy, or Officer Bob, or Teacher Stephanie. But the silence in the sanctuary was broken by the organist.
Love to practice my faith to God through music.
Robert came to play for people watching on Facebook Live a few of his favorite hymns to lift the spirits of many separated by social distancing.
People think music is beautiful, and so they're not gonna think, oh no, this COVID-19 is gonna shut down everything. They're still gonna keep their trust and their hope in music.
This is Robert's part-time job. He lost his full-time job on Saturday. While he's in school to become a commercial pilot, he believes faith will help him and others get beyond the horizon. Sunday, he's focused on Jesus Monday, he's taking steps to find a new job. The Music Man's journey for the rest of the week. In Franklin, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6. An amazing organist, beautiful music, and we wish him the very best as he begins to look for that new job this week. So all the best to him. But the music was absolutely on point, Meredith.
Yes, and we hope that we will hear it very, very soon again, Raphael. We do want to take a turn now. Meteorologist Todd Clausen standing by. Is the forecast going to be music to our ears?
You know, eventually we'll start to sound a little bit better, I guess, as we get towards the middle of the week, and temperatures will be a little bit warmer this morning. It's still kind of damp. It's a little dreary out there. We've lost the visibility issues in the fog in Bloomington as well as Terre Haute, and that should start to be the case here across most of central Indiana as the morning goes on, but some reduced visibility up to the north from Peru over to Fort Wayne into the Delphi area, Logansport as well. So just got to be a little bit patient here this morning, one, to get rid of the fog, and there's also a little bit of drizzle out there that Storm Team 6 radar just can't pick up because it's so light, and we'll throw the clouds on for you, and you can see the clouds firmly in place across all of Indiana. And what we're waiting for is this stronger area of low pressure with quite a bit of rainfall to our south to continue to push off towards the east. Then we have the upper level low with the snow in Michigan. And that too is going to move off to the east. As it does that, it pulls away the moisture, which is the drizzle, and eventually the clouds as well. And I think we will break for some sunshine later on this afternoon. You just got to be patient here throughout the course of the morning when we're probably not going to see much of anything in the way of sunshine. So it gets off to a little bit of a damp and dreary start to our work week here across the area. But again, by this afternoon, I do think the skies will start to brighten a bit, which will be good news. And once we do see those skies brighten, that's when we're going to see the temperatures start to climb as well. We're in the 30s here this morning, mid 40s by the time we get to mid-afternoon, and then upper 40s later on this evening. And I do think some of you, especially down to the south, will hit that 50-degree mark later on today. And jump to tomorrow. Tomorrow, rain chances will return across the area, but it's mainly late in the day that the rain chances do start to ramp up. The first half of the day, 10%, that's nothing more than a hit or miss shower, and I don't think you really have to worry about that. And TrueCast really isn't even picking up on any rainfall tomorrow. So this is TrueCast at 2 p.m. Tomorrow, the clouds are increasing, and then here comes the rain tomorrow evening. Not everybody's even going to see it, but nonetheless, that batch of rain moves through. And then as we get into Wednesday afternoon, I think Wednesday is probably the best day of the week because it will feature plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow, again, those rain showers are in the evening hours. A temperature gets up to right around 50 degrees, but going forward in this forecast, the mild air builds back in. Wednesday, 60 degrees, 64 on Thursday, 63 on Friday. There will be some minor rain chances, especially as we get into Thursday and a Friday, but it's just some scattered rain. There's plenty of dry hours mixed in there for you to be able to get out and about.
Todd, thank you. We are taking a live look right now on the west side. Our photographer, Shay Goodpaster, in live drive here at 10th Street and Wood Point Drive. This is currently closed due to a pedestrian being hit and killed. IMPD confirms that pedestrian was struck and died at the scene there. As you can see, traffic is being impacted. So if this is part of your commute, we suggest you find an alternate route or anticipate there being some delays there. But once again, this is at 10th and Wood Point on the west side. A pedestrian has been hit and killed. We will work to bring you more information as soon as we get it.
Meredith, thank you so much on that. We'll keep on top of that breaking news situation. Last week, we showed you a heartwarming and heartbreaking greeting from some teachers to their students. Coming up next, a lot of those students send a message back to those teachers. You'll love to see this just coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana. Hoosiers only on RTV6.
Here at 6:55, we're taking a live look on the west side. This is West 10th Street and Wood Point Drive. This is where a pedestrian has been struck and killed. As you can see, traffic is being impacted in both directions. Drivers are being rerouted there. So if this is part of your commute this morning, just anticipate that this intersection is going to be impacted for quite some time here as they work to investigate that situation.
Last week, we showed you a sweet message that a school principal and some of her teachers teachers, they passed along to their students whom they really miss right now while school is out for a while.
And this was such a great video at Clarks Creek Elementary School in Plainfield. Principal Marissa Donovan reworked the lyrics from the song You'll Be Back from the Broadway musical Hamilton to give a positive message to all students who are stuck at home. Now, just a few days later, Mrs. Donovan and her teachers got a message of their own.
Oceans rise, empires fall, coronavirus can't take it all, and when push comes to shove, I will send you videos and pictures to remind you of my love.
Oh, as you can see there, the students repaying the message. Very cute.
Teachers are working really hard, like everyone else, to reconnect, keep kids as engaged as possible. So,
yes.
Todd, your forecast for today.
Yeah, morning clouds. We'll get away to a little bit of sunshine this afternoon with temperatures up into the mid-40s.
Todd, thank you. And thank you for joining us. We're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America's news, weather, and traffic updates.
Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow right here on our